Welcome back, pro wrestling fans. Welcome back, IWC. It's your old buddy, the Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. And I tell it like it is. I'll say that to say this. Coming to you live to tape, 25 feet below the surface of the earth, for another episodic YouTube adventure here for Chaos Corner on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel, and story time, as we review Body Slams, Memoirs of a Wrestling Pitchman by Gary Michael Cappetta. Written and released back in 2002, almost 25 years ago. Sit back and relax, drop an elbow on that like button, share, subscribe, leave a comment, give a shout out to my mods who are holding it down, keeping it real and maintaining. And that's Austin Nance and the OTS Tribal Queen. One man, unique, unedited, unscripted, raw dog for you, the fans. We're going to jump right into it here. Go back and check out the previous videos. Over 5,000 videos on this channel. Well over 1 million views. I can't thank you guys and gals enough for being here. This is my stress reliever, my temporary distraction in the hard times that we're all going through here in 2025. Follow me over on X at Big Daddy GOC, where I post almost daily on the current WWE PLEs and, of course, AEW Dynamite pay-per-views. I still stay in touch with the times. I may be the old man brand, the over 50 demo god, but I still report here on the channel in the post community section. And of course, as I said, over on X. You can use it for positivity. It doesn't have to be toxic. Grab an account over on X. It's free, and you'll see what the fuck I'm up to. Let's jump right into it. I'm going to hop off all the other social media platforms. Meet me back here for story time. Body Slams, the Guardian of Chaos. And I tell it like it is. Don't go anywhere. Check out my preview and prediction show for WrestleMania coming up this weekend, tomorrow night, Sunday night. I think you'll find it very interesting. Let's get on to the introduction. Again, drop an elbow on that like button while you're here. Leave a comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends. I say that all the time. I give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So you're better off when you walk out of here than when you fucking walked in here. So you can hold an actual conversation and know what the fuck you're talking about. And I apologize for the cussing. Well, not really. Whether you're at the next water cooler, at work, venue, party, extravaganza, concert, pub, tavern, restaurant, wherever it is that you hang out. In the chats, in the IWC, in this space.
Motion detected at front camera.
Motion detected at front camera. Someone's always watching. And you know there's going to be interruptions with this mechanical bitch, right? We got heat, man. You guys know that. So bear with me. There's no editing here. It's live to tape. Whatever happens, whatever mistakes, whatever. I don't edit anything. This is it. Raw dog. I don't have to have green screens and music or graphics or anything like that to get my point across. I make it relatable. Face to the product. I'm not hard to find. And I know that you know, and you know that I know that you're watching. And if you're not, I really don't give a fuck. Change the channel. You're about to join me on an eye-opening journey through the most significant 2 decades of pro wrestling's long and celebrated history. My first-hand, no-holds-barred account of the players and the process as I witnessed throughout my 21-year announcing career is an extraordinary adventure, to quote Gary Michael Cappetta. GMC, if you will. And as I said earlier in the videos, we were both inducted into the class of 2019 New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Go out to All Access Entertainment, and that's what AXXESS, All Access Entertainment, or the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and you'll see the luminaries that are in there. Everyone from Harley Race to Paul Roma to Jim Cornette to J.J. Dillon to Bill Apter to Gary Michael Cappetta to yours truly. And of course, my brothers at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling that are in that Hall of Fame. Mario Mancini, the owner of Paradise. Paul Perez, second generation grappler, co-trainer at Paradise Alley. And of course, our head trainer. Pretty Wonderful, Power and Glory, Young Stallions, the Four Horsemen, that in Madison Square Garden, WrestleMania, Pretty Paul Roma, our head trainer. And of course, all the current stars that are in the industry, that are making waves, that are Roma trained and Mancini brained. Whether it be Brad Baylor from Swipe Right, whether it be breathing the rarefied air from the most marketable man in wrestling, Richard Holiday, former member of the Dynasty with Hammerstone and MJF. Whether it be Dustin Flash Waller and Kylon King, who have been on Ring of Honor, AEW, all over the independents. And there's many more that I could talk about. The Duke Boys, Jermaine Marbury, Jeremy Lacroix. I can go on and on and on with the stars and the talent at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling. Independent pro wrestling, the backbone of this fucking industry, the backbone of this business. It's like a territorial system here in 2025. Just in the greater New England tri-state Northeast area, there must be 100 promotions. There's shows every weekend, every month, every week. It's unbelievable. You can literally be booked well over 150 times a year as an independent pro wrestler in this country right now. In every state, city, town across this country, Canada, Mexico, and Japan, where it's affordable, $20, entertainment, family entertainment, accessibility. You could bring a family of 3 or 4 or 5, not like what they're doing in current day AEW and the WWE, where they brag about ticket sales, they brag about revenue, breaking records, overseas crowds. That's because you're charging it for the elitists and for the fans and marks, and that's right, I said it, marks, that will pay all this money to go out for these events, which is lunacy. They're taking away the families, the hard hat workers, the lunch pail guys, the blue collar workers, people like you and I. It's just that simple. Let's get back, focus, chaos, get back to the introduction. Gary Michael Capetta. Let's see what he has to say. As we begin the new millennium, pro wrestling is enjoying a boom period, the likes of which have never before been seen. After a 10-year slump, and now it's been a 15 or 20-year slump. Just my opinion, especially these last 2 decades. I mean, let's just be real here. After a 10-year slump, today's phenomenal resurgence once again is capturing widespread media attention, resulting in unparalleled profits. You guys know you like it when I rumble, stumble, fumble, mumble. It's part of the act. Although this is no act, this is really who I am. Go out and check the shorts videos. You'll see my whole family. I hide nothing. I'm not hard to find. The public has become increasingly permissive and forgiving of even the most shocking indiscretions of our prominent public figures, is living vicariously through wrestling's new breed of superstars. Strong performances by updated characters have convinced a vast television audience that the characters have convinced a human drama presented each week more accurately reflects backstage rivalries and real-life political skirmishes, unlike the unsophisticated themes that were presented in the past. Not only has the audience been misled about what goes on behind the scenes, there have been instances in which wrestlers in cahoots with management have duped fellow performers into believing their well-planned storylines. But while an inordinate amount of TV interview time has been used to air personal differences, because personal sells tickets, puts asses in seats, when there's personal heat, when it's legitimate, am I right? The geeks and goons and virgins and dweebs and fans with the brain of a dehydrated BB, they all suck up this stuff. I can smell yous from here. Not my crowd, not my audience, not my viewers. So don't be offended, man. Kayfabe, lighten up. But while an inordinate amount of TV interview time has been used to air personal differences among the players, there remains a core of unspoken secrets that the industry will always attempt to protect. I don't know about that in 2025. Remember, we're in the time machine here on Chaos Corner, and we're 2002. So keep that in perspective if you're just joining us. Determining the correct answers to specific questions, simple, seemingly harmless questions, will bring you closer to the dark side of the business where industry insiders don't want you to go. Go out and watch Dark Side of the Ring on Vice and you'll understand what the fuck I'm talking about. How is it decided who will be featured and who will not? Hello, McFly, is anybody home? Does anyone really get hurt? Hello, again, I'll say it. If so, what are the most common causes for the wrestlers' lapses? How about lack of training? How about that? How about lack of storytelling, ring psychology, emotional investment? How about that? I know I'm full of piss and vinegar and I'm a little cantankerous and vociferous. I get it, man. Focus. What are the athletes really like? Again, there's nothing left behind the curtain in today's industry. That's just my opinion. Once you have accurately answered these questions, you will better understand how the seduction, the acquisition, and the maintenance of the glory that wrestling has to offer can affect its players. As I always say, don't hate the player, hate the game. The faces don't change. And when the faces change, the game doesn't. The glare of the center ring spotlight can alter and sometimes destroy performers whose sense of reality can become as blurred as the characters they portray. Unlike when I began my career, those include the business will now admit that pro wrestling is not a sport where individuals compete to determine who can win a match. Now, this is the inside the business. Like other forms of episodic television, the outcome of every exhibition is predetermined, but the physicality is real. Have you taken a fucking bump? Have you been in the ring? Try it. And if you have, I respect everybody and anybody that steps into that ring. Like other I'm repeating myself here. Before each wrestler makes his way to the ring, he's told who will win and how. This is no secret as we peel back the layers here. The money that each earns has nothing to do with who is victorious. Although back in the day, you got a percentage of the gate, especially if you were the champion. 40%, 20%, 10%, the mid-card is lower. You guys understand that. Do your research. Research is your friend. History is the best thing that you can go back to. That's why there's a rearview mirror to get to where you are, to the windshield, which is much bigger. Those who paved the way. You guys know the analogy. I say it here every fucking show. I apologize for cussing. But while acceptance of this initial premise disqualifies pro wrestling from consideration as a competitive sport, these very basic facts add many more dimensions and pose many additional questions about the operation of this multi-billion-dollar worldwide enterprise. You guys expect this at this point, right? Austin, Jen, David T, Hooligrim, Otis, Kratos, Rob Bebe, Midmo Smart, Scripps. You guys expect this, right? Alexa, play Tropical Bird Sounds. How's that for something different here on Chaos Corner? This takes up like, I don't know, 5 to 10% of the program. These interruptions. It's like Randy Orton. I hear voices in my head. No.
Okay. I can play similar music instead for free. Here's a mix based on Tropical Bird Sounds by Bird Songs on Amazon Music.
Watch me get a strike for that. Because you know that I'm at war with YouTube here, right? This is for you, YouTube, for stepping on my throat. Let's get back to story time. Okay, where were we? Unlike when I began my career, those inside the business will now admit that pro wrestling is not a sport where individuals compete to determine who can win a match. And I just went over that because we had voices in our head. But while acceptance of this initial premise disqualifies pro wrestling from consideration as a competitive sport, I'm going to repeat it. These very basic facts add many more dimensions and pose many additional questions in a multi-billion-dollar industry. So I want to review that and go back to go forward here on Chaos Corner because of this. And I'm not changing it either. What? I give you raw dog, man. While the question seems harmless, you may be outraged by the scandalous implications of the answer. For instance, if financial success is not achieved by winning a match, what are the determining factors that decide who profits, who disappears from the scene, and who never gets a chance to participate? Since past generations and most of today's participants have attempted to protect the inner workings of the wrestling business, which is now persona non grata over the last 2 decades, maybe even the last 3 decades. Historically, those involved with pro wrestling were committed to shield the secrets of their profession from outsiders, a la kayfabe. Mafia kingpins about the inner workings of their underworld, reminiscent of the silence that was demanded by them. The traditional members of pro wrestling fraternity are equally protected of theirs. While a disgruntled participant occasionally raised a vindictive voice, for the most part, the public at large was still fed misleading answers to the most often asked questions about the grunt and groan game. Say that three times fast. Grunt and groan game. Grunt and groan game. Grunt and groan game. Bueller. Bueller? Anyone? It's no wonder that even in today's climate, skeptics have devised explanations for the logically inexplicable illusions of wrestling, which are sometimes more fanciful than truth. Pro wrestling is a form of entertainment that is highly satisfying to the performers and immensely entertaining for the audience when creatively conceived, carefully nurtured, and properly executed. It's a scripted suggestion and exaggerated of real life. At its best, it's an art form. Pro wrestling is also a game of deception. And all too often, it's the deceiver who falls prey to the fantasy of his own making. When the lines between make-believe and reality become blurred, the results can be destructive and at times even deadly. I invite you to join me, to quote Gary Michael Capetta, as we travel through my often bizarre career in order to explore the many myths of the mat game and to uncover the personal side of the most colorful cast of characters imaginable. Witness how my perspective of the art form evolved as a young spectator at ringside to a performer positioned squarely in the eye of the tornado. The naked truth gradually becomes apparent to you as it did to me. Body Slams is filled with my many memorable experiences alongside the principal players of the World Wrestling Federation, World Championship Wrestling, and promotions that strive to emulate both. While I don't intend for Body Slams to provide all the answers, I do guarantee that you are about to read an even-handed and straightforward examination of high stakes at risk for wrestling superstars and corporate game players alike. And most uniquely, Body Slams offers insights into many questions that may have remained unanswered, along with others that until now, few ever thought to ask. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with more content, more story time. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Rest in peace, Kevin Castle. I'll say that to say this because I tell it like it is. Don't you dare miss it.